This is a brief introduction to the committee chair position. So if you've been chosen as committee chair, before you can do any of the things I'm going to talk about, you have to be appointed committee chair by the chamber leader. Alright, so Sam Spade in this case is chair of the Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions. And so if we click on this committee, you can see that there are a lot of activity and a lot of bills have been referred to the committee. The committee chair is the one who manages the legislation while it's in committee. So, and he or she does that by clicking on the Manage Committee tab, and this is something that other committee members can't see. So all the stuff I'm going to show you is not visible to other committee members. Okay. So the first thing you can do is you can provide additional information about the committee that's publicly available, sort of the front page of the committee. The second thing that you can do is you can open a hearing on a piece of legislation that's been referred to the committee, and you can prepare a committee report related to the results of that hearing. Okay, so there's pretty clear instructions in text on these pages, but the important thing to remember is that nothing can happen on a bill until you've scheduled a hearing first. So if we click on this, you can see that there are options for opening hearings on legislation, and then once you've opened a hearing, then you have the ability to draft a committee report with respect to that particular bill, or you can choose to table the hearing, which would effectively kill the legislation. Okay. You can also schedule hearings that are not about particular pieces of legislation, so this would be sort of an investigative hearing or something like that. Once the committee has considered a particular piece of legislation and prepared a committee report on it, then the next step before the bill can move to the floor is to have the bill reported out of committee, right? And so what you've got to do here is schedule a vote, and if this were a bill that report had been prepared for, you would see the option of report. The option would be adopt the committee report. And once you clicked on that option and scheduled the vote, when the vote begins and when the vote ends and what the standard for adoption is going to be, once the vote had ended, if a majority had voted in favor of adopting the committee report, then the bill is automatically referred out of committee and onto the floor. Okay? The important thing to remember here is that unless you vote to adopt the report, nothing's going to happen. It's just going to sit in your committee, so you really do have to vote to adopt the report. The other options before you vote on adopting the report is the committee can consider amendments and hold votes on those amendments. Okay. And then I want to go back here, and unfortunately I can't. Give me a second here. The other thing I just wanted to briefly mention was you can do things two ways, right? So you can have a scheduled recorded vote, but the other option is if your committee happened to meet and voted as a group to report a bill out, then you could, as the chair, record the fact that the vote occurred by roll call, for example, how the individual members voted on that, and issue that, and that's going to have the same effect. If a majority in this case voted to adopt the report, then it's going to go out even though you didn't actually have the members themselves casting votes on the bill. Okay, that's about it. As I said, there's a lot of really good text-based instruction if you take time to read it about your role here, and maybe be a little slow the first time, but you'll get the hang of it pretty quickly.